So my name's Suren Jaimana and I'm from Victoria. Comedy's always been a passion, but I'm actually an accountant by trade. But that usually is the easiest way to kind of kill a conversation. So I've kind of started to do comedy a bit outside of work, and it's going well. I'm having fun.
He is an accountant, Suren, but he's funnier. I think if he's as good at accounting as he is at telling jokes, I don't know why he's getting into comedy, because he could be an amazing accountant if they were comparative.
I guess the only other important thing to note is that I'm born in Melbourne, grew up here, but kind of Sri Lankan heritage. I am Sri Lankan, not Indian, should point that out. It's an easy mistake to make. In fact, I'm pretty sure a couple of years ago some kids on the street made that mistake when they tried to knife me. I can only forgive them, right, because they just had a stab in the dark, that's all. I quite like that joke. I think it's clever, right? Because I think, you know, they're having a guess, it's night time, those are all the elements you need to have a stab in the dark. But then this guy comes up to me after a gig and he goes, hey, I really like that joke about how you got stabbed because you're dark. No, that's not the joke. Well, maybe it should be. I'm in a pretty interesting kind of time where I've been raised as like a middle class, effectively like middle class white person, but I get all the perks of being a Sri Lankan as well. So it's I'm in this sweet spot at the moment where I'm kind of sitting in the best of both worlds, if you like. Yeah.
And he's a bit older than a couple of the others on the gang. Not that he's old, but there's a maturity to his comedy. He's actually one to watch, I reckon. Keep an eye out for him. He's really funny. And good stage presence, confident, good shoes, sensible trousers. I mean, you can't fault him.
I'm Becky Lucas and I'm representing Queensland.
She's a good egg, Becky. She's very funny. She's pretty unassuming to look at if you judge comedians in terms of first impression, book by cover sort of thing. You could be lulled into a false sense of security, I think, with Becky, because she looks quite sweet, but her comedy is, I heard someone describe it as like whiplash, because you're going, what? What? Did you say that?
I just feel like men are so conflicted, like when they get to the nightclub, like the penis is like the rookie cop, it just bursts into the nightclub, it's like, woo, pussy, pew, 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 pew. The brain is like the old wise cop, he's like, relax, rookie. We'll smoke the pussy out, right? We're not... some wine, some flowers. The rookie's just jizzing everywhere, I don't know. That was crude, I'm sorry, that was crude. No, I always liked comedy and thought about it a lot. And I met a friend who had his friend was a comedian in America, and it just had never occurred to me that you could do that as a job. And then I got back and thought I'd give it a crack.
It's very polished, it's very sharp, and also she has an element of theatricality to the way that she performs. She's very interesting to watch and she's very funny. So yeah, she's cool. Aaron, I first saw perform at Class Clowns. He won the competition that I saw him at, and he was doing some stuff which was a little bit odd.
I am Aaron Chen and I come from New South Wales.
His stuff was a little bit dark and a little bit sort of funny and a bit odd at the time.
Do you use shampoo? What's like the selling point of your shampoo? Yeah, like cool colours, vibrant. Yeah. The selling point of my shampoo was it was relaxing chamomile shampoo. So I was using it for the first time the other day and it was going really well. But then a little bit got into my eye and it stung a lot, but I was calm throughout the whole thing. I grew up in a suburb called Asquith in Sydney. Yeah, it's great. It's pretty fantastic.
What do I want to say about Aaron? He's a craftsman. He's a comedic craftsman. He's a bit of a dark horse. Some of his tags you don't see coming, and some of his setups he really commits to ideas. So he'll have a comic premise and commitment. He's good at commitment.
I first considered pursuing comedy when I was 15 years old. And I was like doing speeches at school, and they were going like better than they should have. So I did competition class clowns, and that's when I did comedy for the first time.
He doesn't apologise for stuff. He just, hey, these are my jokes, and they work really well. And as a result, you trust him. I think it's really important when you go and see a comic, if they look like they're confident and they don't really give a shit either way, if you laugh, you trust them, and as a result, you end up laughing quite a lot. And I always laugh at Aaron. He's good. Demi is a pain in the ass. She's terrible. She can't write jokes. She can't tell them. She looks funny, and so I guess she trades off that.
I'm Demi Lardner, and I'm representing South Australia in the Comedy Zone this year. I grew up in Adelaide, in the northern suburbs, so don't fight me, because you'll die. Because I always keep a shiv on me. But there were a lot of tiny birds that I was afraid of in the... That's not a joke. Tiny birds freak me out. They're too quick. It's like, just, hopping around, being all tiny, thinking they own the place, and they don't, let me tell you that. But yes, I could fight a man.
But I've seen Demi on the circuit for quite a while. She's performed in Melbourne, and she's from Adelaide, and she's just one of those performers that you just... It was one of those people that you see do comedy and go, yep, you'll be fine. You know exactly what you're doing.
So when you're hanging out with friends, what's that like? When you're with like a group of friends and you know most of them, and there's one person that you don't know that well, so you're trying to get to know them, you're talking to them, and you offer them a chip from your chip packet, and they go to take the chip and they put their hand inside, and you just slowly clasp from the outside around their hand. Just wait for them to be okay with that. And then you're not alone anymore. I first considered becoming a comedian when I was maybe 10. I watched a lot of Leno and Woodley, and then I actually started doing it when I was 16, and as soon as I turned 16, I was like, I'm too old now. There's no way I can get into it. I should have been doing this years ago. And I'd almost given up right before I started.
At the moment, it seems like she's just not even getting close to resting on her laurels. She's trying new stuff all the time, and it's exciting. It's exciting to see someone that young, that talented. Makes you a little bit sick. Makes you do a little bit of vomit in your mouth because they're quite good. You go, oh crap, she's good.